Amazon Web Services, or AWS, is probably the most widely adopted cloud computing platform. Amongst virtual servers, artificial intelligence services, and numerous types of databases, they offer a simple email service as well. This is known as Amazon SES, or Simple Email Service. If your app is already hosted on Amazon, you can definitely think of integrating it to your email infrastructure. Hi all, I welcome you to this Amazon SES session. In this tutorial, we shall explain how Amazon SES works and differs from dozens of other email services, review its strengths and weaknesses, and demonstrate how it can be set up and integrated with your infrastructure. But before we begin, let's look at our agenda for today. We are going to start out by briefly discussing what exactly is Amazon SES, followed by why should we use it. Then we shall discuss the pricing of SES, followed by a few advantages and disadvantages of Amazon SES. We are also going to discuss certain alternative services to Amazon SES and how does it compare to them. Then we're going to move on to the Amazon setup, where we are going to show you step by step on the AWS Management Console how to configure your Amazon SES for the first time and obtain your Amazon SES SMTP credentials. Finally, we'll put our theory to practice by email testing with Amazon SES before we conclude our session. That was my agenda for today. Also, kindly take up this time to subscribe to us and don't forget to hit that bell icon to never miss an update from the Edureka YouTube channel. And to learn more about SES, SQS, and other services offered by AWS, do check out our training program, the link to which is given in the description box below. So without much ado, let's get started. So what is Amazon SES? Amazon SES, or Simple Email Service, as the name describes, is an email service for sending both transactional and mass emails. It is cloud-based and offers a wide list of possible integrations. You have your SMTP interface, which is your Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which is a communication protocol for email transmission. As an internet standard, your SMTP is an application that is used to send, receive, and relay outgoing emails between senders and receivers. When an email is sent, it's transferred over the internet from one server to another using SMTP. In simpler terms, an SMTP email is just an email sent using the SMTP server. You also have the AWS SDKs with seamless integration with your applications and even email clients or other types of software. But then you have your regular email service. Why do you want to use AWS? Now, AWS can boast its reliable infrastructure at a very reasonable cost. Amazon prices are very competitive compared to other solutions available in the market for this particular service. If you check its consumer reviews, you will notice it as the most often mentioned advantage, as with other things on the AWS console. But we are going to take a closer look at the Amazon prices as well as its advantages and disadvantages a little bit later in this Amazon SES tutorial. Here we are just going to discuss the main features and the appeal of Amazon SES. First of all, its high deliverability or its deliverability rate. It's one of the main parameters to consider when choosing an email sending service. Amazon takes reputation and whitelisting extremely seriously by supporting all three authentication mechanisms, which are DKIM, or Domain Keys Identified Mail, which is an email security standard designed to make sure your messages aren't altered in transit between sending and recipient servers. It uses public key cryptography to sign email with a private key as it leaves a sending server. There's also SPF, which allows email senders to define which IP address are allowed to send mail from a particular domain, and it's better known as your sender policy framework. You also have DMARC, which is domain-based message authentication, reporting, and conformance, which is an email authentication protocol which basically uses the sender policy framework. So as a sender, you authenticate your email using SPF and DKIM, and you publish a DMARC record in your DNS. In addition, you can track all of your sending activity and manage your reputation as well. So obviously, it's highly deliverable. Next, you get content personalization with replacement tags. Personalized emails are messages tailored to a specific user, notwithstanding the name. Personalized email are a part of automated marketing. They are created with special templates that become individual due to its dynamic content. Your username, date of birth, location, behavior, all in the app. Each of these parameters change from user to user and may affect the type of information included in the message. With dynamic content, you can personalize emails with the user details or even show different information to different users. It's done with variables or placeholders or merge tags. The most common example is sending a newsletter to a list of subscribers and inserting their first names into the welcoming sentence. I'm pretty sure many of you might have gotten emails that way, which seems sort of generic but also personal at the same time. In this case, you use one template and add a first name tag for personalization. And finally, email receiving. Now with Amazon SES, you can not only send emails, but also retrieve them. In this case, you have a set of flexible options as well as usage of the received message as a trigger in AWS Lambda. Now we won't go into details of email receiving in this Amazon SES tutorial. So if you're interested in this feature, you can obviously read up more on it on the official documentation. Now the most obvious use case for the Amazon SES is supplementing a list of other AWS services you already work with. Amazon SES easily integrates with Amazon CloudWatch, Amazon EC2, Amazon Elastic Beanstalk, AWS IAM, AWS Lambda, Amazon Route 53, Amazon S3, Amazon SNS, and Amazon Workmail. So if your app is hosted in Amazon EC and it sends emails with the Simple Email Service or the Amazon SES, the first 62,000 of your monthly emails will be free. This way, if you host your app on Amazon EC2 and need a scalable way of sending emails, Amazon SES is an extremely beneficial choice. So versatile integration is your fourth point. Another point which is extremely important for a service like this is pricing. So let's take a look at Amazon SES's cost. Now, as I already mentioned, if your app is a part of Amazon EC2 or Elastic Beanstalk infrastructure, then you're eligible for a free tier, and the first 62,000 emails are free every month. For all other cases, Amazon's policy of pay for what you actually use applies. For emails over the 62,000 limit, you will pay as much as 10 cents or $0.1 for every 1,000 emails that you send, plus 12 cents or $0.12 for each GB of attachments. If your app is not hosted on Amazon server, the cost will be the same. You have 10 cents for every 1,000 emails you send and 12 cents for each GB of attachment. The only difference is that you will start paying from the message sent. This means that the 10,000 emails without attachment will cost you only $1. If each of these messages have 1 MB of attachment, you will add $1.18 to your payment. The Amazon SES email size is limited to 10 MB. This means you can pay up to $3 for 10,000 emails without monthly charges. If you need a dedicated IP address for more security, it will cost an additional $24.95, so not even $25 per month. Again, an AWS calculator where you can go ahead and look for specific and detailed pricing for your requirements. This is very, very helpful in cost estimation. Moving on, let's discuss a few pros and cons of Amazon SES. Now, Amazon services definitely have both fans and haters, but in general, the concept and especially the cost of Amazon SES are more than inspiring. However, even the moon has its dark side. So let's sum up the pros and define the cons. In addition to my own experience with Amazon SES, I've also reviewed what users have to say on certain platforms such as Trust Radius, Quora, and Stack Overflow. So that is going to be my point of reference for this particular section. Let's first look at advantages. Now, the pros of Amazon SES obviously include high deliverability, as we discussed before, and reliability, along with high sending rates. Apart from this, you don't need any additional maintenance once you have it all set up. So obviously, it's pretty low maintenance. Third point is something I shouldn't even have to mention, which is best quality to price ratio. And finally, you also get a comprehensive set of tools for both email receiving and further management of your infrastructure. Since we spoke about this extensively in the features section, this was a brief recapitulation of that segment. But the cons or the disadvantages is what I want to speak slightly more in depth about. So first con, it has a quite complicated initial configuration. Well, I would call it rather detailed and lacking exhaustive documentation, which I think is one of the selling points of most AWS services, that it has really great documentation. You can follow it word for word and you will never face any issue. And you obviously need a good set of documentation when you start working with a new service. But we're going to solve that issue for you with this Amazon SES tutorial. So no problems there. The next point is there are a few initial limitations before you get approved and verify your sending domains. You need to correctly configure Amazon SES and expand your limits by submitting requests. The third reason is that Amazon SES is a simple sending service and not a marketing platform. And it has been advertised that way to all the right, which is fair. However, many users find the lack of template building extremely confusing. If you're not a web developer and you need to send responsive emails with Amazon SES, what should you do? It's kind of a pain that needs a solution. And in addition to this point, Amazon SES does not provide you with an email list storage, so that is on you. Now, because we discussed the cons of Amazon SES, it is only fair that we see how SES compares to other services. It is often seen as an alternate to SendGrid or MailChimp, which are email marketing platforms rather than email sending services. Amazon SES offers both SMTP and API integration. On the other hand, it is simply for email sending and doesn't feature any additional options like drag and drop templates, A/B testing, or detailed analytics. But there are several tools similar to SES with varying functionalities. First of all, you have Mailgun. This is an email service for developers, which you can also integrate with your app via API or SMTP. In addition to email sending, it offers an email list management and validation system. However, compared to the Amazon SES, it's only fair to say that Mailgun is a way more expensive tool. Next, you have ClickSend, which is a dedicated email sending service. You can integrate it via API or SMTP or use its dashboard for marketing emails as well. And finally, you have PeppyPost, which is an email sending service as well, and this can be integrated via API or SMTP Relay and offers extremely competitive pricing to Amazon SES as well. Now, it is worth mentioning that these are several platforms built on top of Amazon SES. They use it as a delivery service and add extra functionalities like email templates. Email Octopus and Sendy are a few tools that they use. Now that you have decided to go with Amazon SES, or at least experiment with it, which is why I'm assuming you are following this tutorial, then this is the section for you. Now, of course, I'm always going to recommend following the official documentation, which you can look at after this Amazon SES tutorial. Indeed, there are many details that you should be paying attention to when you configure your Amazon SES for the first time. But the official guide has dozens of sections which is interlinked, and it's extremely easy to get lost off a linear track if you're trying to dive in deeper. So I've gathered the most important points here, briefly explain them, and then basically I'm going to show you on my management console how to go about this setup. Now, if you're totally new to AWS, what you need to do first is create an Amazon Web Services account first. Yeah, it's your AWS free tier account. You'll be required to enter your credit card information at the registration stage, but you won't be charged until you start using the paid services. So you can go ahead and select the free plan out of the 3 plans to start, and you will get access to all of the Amazon services. Next, you're going to go into your AWS Management Console. This is what mine looks like, and select Simple Email Service from the list of services. So let's go on search and type SES. You get the simple email service. I'm going to click on this. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to verify email address identities. Yes, it's a little bit annoying, but it's a matter of security and high deliverability. So what you need to do is verify the email identities that you use. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to go and create my SMTP credentials. Now to send emails through the Amazon SES SMTP interface, which is the one we're going to use right now, we're going to begin by creating the SMTP credentials, which is a username and a password. So in the left navigation bar, I'm going to click on SMTP settings. And here you can see your server name, your port, your TLS configuration, and your authentication. I'm going to go ahead, click on this blue button which says create my SMTP credentials. All right. Now you will get a form which says this form lets you create an IAM user for SMTP authentication with Amazon SES. Enter the name of a new IAM user or accept the default and create to set up your SMTP credentials. So what you're going to do right now is copy your credentials, because this password will not be shown to you again. So I'm going to open So my SMTP security credentials are here. You have your SMTP username and password. So either copy it or you can click on download credentials. So I am just going to copy it because I already have a notepad open. All right. So I'm just going to click on download credentials. And then I'm going to close it. So next what we're going to do is we're going to verify an email address. So we're going to add and verify our own email address using a few steps. So I'm going to go on to my Amazon SES console. So this is our SES home. We are going to go to email addresses and click on verify a new email address. So now we'll be presented with a dialog. Here we are going to enter the email address that we wish to send messages from. So I'm going to type my address and I'm going to click on verify this email address. So now we have a verification email sent to my particular ID. You should just about now receive a verification message from Amazon SES asking you to confirm that you are the owner of this email address. I'm quickly going to go and click on the verification link in my mail. And voila, you have successfully verified an email address, and now you can send emails from this address. So I'm going to go back here to this page and refresh it. I'm going to check the status of the email address. And as you can see, the verification status says verified. Now, all of this is a little bit annoying, but it's a matter of security and high deliverability. And that I have mentioned before. You need to verify all the email identities that you use here using the same process. But remember one thing, that your email addresses are case sensitive, and another important thing in using AWS is its regions. So remember that they are the physical locations of Amazon data centers available to any customer. These regions don't limit the usage of AWS services for you, as their purpose is distributing workloads basically. So when getting started, you don't need to worry about this, but if you want to scale your services, you should remember the corresponding limits. In addition, email verification is connected to the region. The easiest way to verify your email addresses is to use the Amazon SES console. It doesn't require any coding skills, and even if you're not a tech savvy, you will be able to walk through this process within seconds. All you will have to do is enter your email address and then press the link in a confirmation message that you will receive in your inbox. So I'm just going to quickly add like 2 more email addresses. Now, domain verification is a standard procedure as well. You need to add a TXT record to your domain's DNS server. Once your email addresses are successfully verified, you can now start sending emails from them. But note that you need to start in a sandbox mode, which basically means that you can send email to verified email addresses and domains or to the Amazon SES mailbox simulator only, and you can only send up to 200 messages in 24 hours and only one message per second. Sounds complicated, right? A bit, but this is the price you pay for security and sender reputation. However, in my opinion, for experimenting with Amazon SES and understanding how it works, just the basic bare minimum, the sandbox mode is enough. But then again, to move forward and start sending messages to your customers without a need to verify recipients, inboxes, domains, you should basically need to submit a request via the AWS Management Console. In your request, you should describe how you or your enterprise is going to use Amazon SES, build your mailing lists, handle bounces, etc. Now, once you have successfully completed verification, reviewed main AWS definitions, and figured out how all of this actually works, you can move to the email sending. As we have already discussed, you can use SMTP or API. In this particular step, you should define exactly how you would like to send your emails. With SMTP, you can send an email from your application if you are using a framework that supports the SMTP authentication. You can also send messages from software packages you already use, such as your blogging platform, your workflow system, etc. You can also send emails right from your email client and finally integrate it with a server where you host your app. Servers such as your Postfix, Exim, and other such examples. Now, obtaining the Amazon SES SMTP credentials are fairly easy. We saw it a while ago. These are mine in my notepad, as well as integrating your email client or software package. These options might be a good fit for non-developers as well. API integration, however, requires definite technical skills and can be used to make raw query requests and responses, use an AWS SDK, as well as use the CLI or the command line interface. Now, it's time for you to go from theory to practice. Let's review one of the widely used types of integration, sending emails using Amazon SES. Now, I assume you have already obtained your SMTP credentials and switched your Amazon SES instance to the production mode. If you already haven't, you can just, in your left navigation bar, under email sending, go to sending statistics, edit your account details, and enable production access. You can also do this straight out of your sandbox. Yeah? The good news is that the most complicated and time-consuming part is now behind us. All we have to do is integrate our WordPress with Amazon SES for sending notifications or even newsletters. Now for this, you have two options. So now what we are going to do is we are going to send a test email using Amazon SES. So I'm going to go to email addresses. I am going to send a test email from one address to another. You can also send it from one address to itself because that address is verified by us. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to click on send a test email. From this address of mine to this one, I'm going to select formatted and something simple. Maybe this is a test email. And the email has been sent. All you have to do is go ahead and refresh. And now as you can see, we have our test email saying this is a test email. Okay, now we are going to go back here again send another test email from the same email address and the same recipient, except for now we are going to use the raw email format. Now, one thing you must have directly noticed is that you have no options in your subject line here. In your formatted email, you have a lot of these options, but when you click on raw, you have no such options. So I'm going to go this, put in your recipient address and your sender's address, and this is a little piece of code. So here I'm going to paste some sample formatted text for this particular email, and you can go ahead and put in your body as well. Now the raw message is a JSON data structure saved in a file named message.json in the current directory. And as you can see, the data is one long string that contains an entire raw email content in MIME format, including an attachment called attachment.txt, which is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and send the test email. And here is the email I sent to myself. It has the sender address and it has the address of the recipient and everything that was there in the email. So all right, that was sending a simple email using the Amazon Simple Email service. Finally, concluding, I'd like to say that Amazon SES is a powerful, affordable, and simple email sending service, just as its name suggests. It takes time, effort, and some technical knowledge to get into the details of its usage, of course. And Amazon SES does not offer any wide marketing options, but the main thing is it's not designed for this purpose. This Amazon SES tutorial was to help guide you to make your choice and basically explore this service in a fast and easy manner. If you need a reliable and scalable email sending option, then Amazon SES is just the right choice. If you need more capabilities or do not want to get into technical details, you should take a look at marketing platforms or tools created for that purpose, which, let's face it, are also done on top of Amazon SES. With that, I close this session. My name is Upasna. Thank you and have a great day.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!